So you've got two versions of yourself, and people don't know the real one. So you're alive, you're living, but you're never present. You're always thinking about what will this person think of me, or if I do this, then what happens to me here? You're moving, but you're not arriving. One of the most hardest things for people to come to terms with is actually being good at different things and getting results, achievements, but never actually becoming, never actually turning up as themselves. You've got all these trophies and accolades and achievements, but you're not being yourself. So then there's that resistance of, even though I'm not being me, I'm still getting congratulated for not being me. All this time that people have spent with you, they've not actually had any time with the real you. The only reason why I will say it isn't your fault is if you have not come into this knowledge and awareness before this moment. If you haven't, then it wasn't your fault, but after this, it will be if you choose to continue to allow people to get to know someone that isn't you. Because at the end of the day, there is nothing that you could ever receive, whether it's material, whether it's money, whether it's anything that will ever be enough for you. Because what you actually need and what you're actually craving with all those material things is acceptance. So you're looking for acceptance in all of these things outside of you without actually accepting yourself. And you won't be accepted by anyone else properly, and you won't even be able to receive the acceptance from everyone. You'll actually turn it away, and it will actually be seen as red flags, whether it's a job or a relationship, until you've actually been able to accept yourself. So the first and most important thing is acceptance. Acceptance becomes the light switch. There is absolutely nothing that can grow in denial. You cannot deny yourself without accepting every aspect of yourself. So hiding the things that you don't like about yourself doesn't actually change or stop them from being present in your life. You are just ignoring them. And then the one that cannot accept themselves will build friendships and systems and long-term commitments in, whether it's in business, in relationships, whatever it may be, based on the fear of being abandoned. So because you don't want to be abandoned and neglected, then you stick to people that you know you shouldn't be around or with, and then you get yourself involved in situations that you could have avoided if you had accepted yourself. You start to build habits based on shame. So in the fear of being yourself, you start to act and commit yourself to things yet again. Instead of saying no to people and accepting yourself and having boundaries for yourself based on the values that you have and where you're going in life, instead of choosing yourself and hurting others, you choose to hurt yourself just because you're unable to say no. So this is not about self-love. It's about acceptance, recognizing who you are in its totality, wholly, not an aspect of you that you like, an aspect of you that you prefer, an aspect of you that you don't mind. Recognizing your whole self, even the parts that you don't like. That is a part of you. It's a part of you that can be changed. But at this moment in time, this is who I am in its totality. That's recognition, not self-love. Recognizing who you are, not denying it. It's impossible to change and remove and alter aspects of yourself without recognizing them. Awareness. Because if you're unable to be truthful with yourself, then again, life has not begun. So it's only in truth and in its honesty that you can actually begin to develop yourself. Self-development only works in truth. If you're already lying to yourself at the start of the development, then you would already hit a wall, and a brick wall at that. So in psychology, it's called shadow. The aspects of you that are in the dark, the parts of you that you have chosen to put in the dark. And these could be the aspects of yourself that you don't like, which is fair enough. But there's still at this moment in time parts of you that you have to accept and acknowledge. You have to acknowledge them, you have to recognize them, and you have to be aware of them. Being aware of them and then chucking them and hiding them under the carpet doesn't do anything. It's like if I wanted to go to the gym and work on my legs, but then even though I know that I want to work on my legs, I just say, do you know what? I don't want to, I can't even be asked for that. I'm just going to do arms. It's all well and good me forgetting about them, but if I want the work to be done on them, then I have to acknowledge that they're not where I want them to be. So, same situation, same thing. The shadow contains the emotions that you're avoiding. So, those emotions, whether it's anger, whether it's happiness, whether it's sadness, whatever it may be, those emotions that can go out of control that you choose to avoid and not work on, those might be shadows, aspects of you that you don't like, that you hide, that you keep to the side. But then the issue with that is that just because they're on the side doesn't mean that they can't come out to play. And when they come out to play, you're the one that is put to blame. So as I've said, it doesn't work putting them on the side if they still have influence and the ability to show up in your life. The desires that you hide. Again, if you put them to the side and pretend they're not there, nothing's going to happen. So you have to first of all acknowledge them, accept them, not own them. I'm not telling you to own any of these things. I'm telling you to accept that they are realities in your life at this moment in time and be aware of them. The feelings, the truths that you've buried, the things that you know but choose to pretend aren't realities. So you know that someone has told you to do something. Parent, guardian, whoever it may be, they've told you to be here at a certain time. You know that you're not going to make it there at a certain time. When questioned as to why you weren't there at a certain time, your response is, I didn't know, or I wasn't told, knowing that you were told, the insecurities that you suppress. So people ask you how you feel about yourself, and you say, yeah, 100%, I feel amazing. Knowing that when you're on your own, there's things that you think about yourself, there's ways that you feel about yourself, there's things that you hate about yourself, insecurities. And hiding them and pushing them under the carpet won't do anything because those feelings behind the experiences that you face on a day-to-day basis. So this is the inner world. This is your inner world. And your inner world is what you're experiencing. And you're experiencing it outside. So what you see and what you experience, what you interact with, how people treat you, how people interact with you is all based on your inner world. It's based on your perception of yourself. It's based on the ceilings that you've created for yourself in terms of how high and how far you believe you can go in life, how far and how successful you can be in life, how you're perceived by other people, how people look at you, how people view you is all based on what you think of yourself and the worth, the value you have placed on yourself. So then if you're trying to have a productive life or to live a life that is meaningful and to be your true self and you're avoiding aspects of yourself, then you're only working on half of you. So then of course you're going to have frustration and of course you're going to bump into roadblocks along the way that could be removed and could be avoided. But the only reason they're not being avoided is because you're only doing half of the work. So it doesn't matter how hard you try and how hard you work. It has nothing to do with trying and working hard if all of the things that need to be on the table for you to actually do the work aren't there. So it has zero to do with what you like, and it has everything to do with every aspect of you, including the parts you like and including the parts of you that you're hiding, including the parts of you that you don't show to anyone else. So it's time for you to just stop pretending and just be honest and real and truthful. So we're going to throw a bit of maths in there. When you are only presenting aspects, or should I say fractions of yourself, it can be split into four because there's the part of you that wants to perform, to impress, and to be accepted. There's the part of you that you show for public display. So when you're around other people, there's parts of you that you're hiding. Then there's the aspects of you that you're suppressing. There's actually aspects of you that you're keeping to yourself. You don't want other people to see that version of you. Maybe it's the vulnerable side of you. Maybe it's the aspect of you that cares. Maybe it's the compassionate aspect of you, the one that wants to put other people first, the one that wants to support and help. Then you have the aspect of you that's avoiding. So you avoid the things that you like. You avoid the things that you're interested in. just to keep up appearance, just to keep the perception and the way people look at you up. And that's a lot of work. So you've got different aspects of you just flowing and flying around based on the fact of you not being yourself, which is more work and which is harder. When you're accepting who you are, you accept how you are. You accept it irrespective of why. You're just accepting you for you, not the one that's performing, not the one that is able to get all of these achievements and goals and everyone likes them. It has nothing to do with that. Even if nobody liked who you are, even if no one cared about you, you're just accepting you for you. So the war is who you are and who you're pretending to be. So forget about denying it, forget about avoiding it, forget about trying to hide it under carpets and pretend it's not there. Name it, accept, recognize it, don't pretend, understand it, understand what it is, understand what it does, understand why it may be there, and then decide what role it plays. Decide whether that has influence over you. If it's something that you don't like, it might actually be something you need. It might not actually be negative. It might be something that you haven't understood and something that could be beneficial to you, but you have to understand it. And then you have to understand the role it plays. Does it have a hold over your life? Do you, as you understand it now, are you able to use it? Or is it something that you need to change? Is it something that you need to replace? Because you understand it, you're more likely to be able to identify the healthier option that it could be replaced with. But none of this can be done by avoiding and denying and pretending that it's not there. But what tends to happen is we say, no, I'm not angry, I'm not jealous, I'm not anxious, I'm cool, I'm all right, when you're not. And you know you're not. But because we're so used to pretending and telling everyone else that we're okay and looking after everyone else, we're the ones that suffer. And you can go through life helping everyone else except yourself. So denial is not the same as removal. All you have done is buried that thing alive. So it's still there. And what will happen is it will start to leak through and then it will be triggered at some point. And when it's triggered, because you don't acknowledge it, you don't recognize it, you don't understand it, it will start to leak through different aspects of your life and it will start to produce and it will start to multiply. And you won't understand what's happening because you don't understand it and you choose to ignore it. You've rejected it, you've denied it. So this thing that's at work in your life, you don't know what it is. You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know why you're doing it. All coming back to the fact that you haven't accepted it. And because you haven't accepted it, you haven't replaced it with the healthier alternative. Maybe it's fear. Fear exists in me. There are some times where I'm fearful. I'm fearful of the fact that if I do this thing, or if I go to this trial, or if I go to this job interview, or if I go into this classroom where I've had issues with other people, that I might be judged or I might be laughed at, or if I put my hand up to read, even though I like reading or even though I need help with reading, that I might be laughed at. But then remember, we said that you decide the role that it plays in your life. So then you say, even though there is aspects of jealousy that are within me, I'm not gonna allow it to affect me. I'm not gonna allow it to rule me. If anything, I'm now gonna support the people that I was once jealous of. I'm gonna replace this fear with something that is healthier. Instead of being fearful of the thing, when I realize that I am fearful of something, I'm gonna ask for support in that area so I can still do it anyway. Fear is two things. It's an indication that what you are trying to do is something that you haven't done before. Two, the only reason you're fearful of something is because of the fact that your brain is trying to protect you. Maybe you have a goal in mind that was only put there based on what you've seen on social media or who you've seen on social media. These are only things that you will realize when you've accepted every aspect of yourself. That includes your body, that includes your weight, that includes your hair, that includes your looks, that includes your skin color, that includes everything, every single aspect of you. You have to accept it. The image you have of yourself will determine the life you live. When you go into situations and environments, it will influence the way you walk. It will influence the way you play with your hands. It will influence the way that you have to find something to do with your body, whether it's your hands or whether it's your knee, your leg tapping, whether it's you playing with your fingers because you're afraid or because you're anxious or because you haven't been in this kind of environment before, maybe because you haven't prepared, or maybe because you don't simply believe that this is an environment that you should be in or that you're worthy of being in. So your confidence, all going back to self-image, the relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's romantic, whatever it may be, whether it's a mentor, whether it's somebody that has become successful in life in relation to what you deem success as, when you interact with them or when you come across them, how you relate with them and the success of that relationship is all based on how you view yourself. So in relationships, if you feel like you're not worthy enough to maintain, build, keep that kind of relationship, it will have absolutely no success. Whether it's your ambition, your discipline, the decisions you make, your standards, the values that you have for yourself. If you have zero boundaries, people can do and say and behave in any way towards you, and there is nothing that you will do. They know that, which is why they can get away with the things that they can with you. And the only person that doesn't realize that is you. And the people that you have around you that have not highlighted that aspect to you may only be around you for that reason. So they know that they can get you and call you at any time and you'll be there for them, even though they aren't there for you, and even though you aren't there for yourself. And a bit of history about how you view yourself is that it was installed. It was installed by your parents because the way that they see life is sometimes an indicator of how you see certain situations. It might not be everything in your life, but there's some things that you have been given. They have been passed down, whether it's by school. You spend so much time in school, they are shaping how you view yourself. The experiences that you faced in childhood, culture, environments, and trauma. All these aspects have contributed to how you view yourself. And now the last one being social media. Because of the amount of time that is spent on social media, something can happen 10 minutes ago and everybody is already aware of it. And that could have happened in Alaska. That could have happened in America. That could have happened in Manchester, and you already know about it. And what this is doing is shaping your belief system, is shaping how you view yourself. Because what we touched on previously being the inner world, because of how you view yourself, it would now determine not only how people relate with you, but the experiences that you have in life. When your self-image is low, even opportunities feel like they're not for you. You feel unworthy of the things that are coming to you, even though they're for you. You feel like you're not worthy enough for them, even though you want them. But why don't you feel like you deserve them? Why don't you deserve to be treated nicely? Why don't you deserve to have the things that you want? Why is it that when opportunities come, you feel like you're not ready for them? Compliments, it always feels like there's something behind it, or what are they actually trying to say, or is there something else? Is there a but coming? Love feels suspicious. It feels like they want something from you. It feels like it has to be transactional. Success feels undeserved. You do something, there's an achievement, and you're just on to the next thing. This is what goes back to the shadow, the aspects of you that you were hiding previously. Because I'm hoping that if you're here now, listening to this, that you accepted those aspects of you that you were once hiding. So the reason why the work would have never worked before that you were doing on yourself in improving and in developing yourself is because any type of confidence would have been fake confidence. Any type of self-love and self-worth would have been fake because it would have been something that would have been mechanical. It wouldn't have been genuine. It wouldn't have been authentic. And then that brings into question any form of love that was done based on the fact of you trying to feel accepted wasn't even genuine in the first place. So if anyone was giving and producing transactional love, it was you. It was me. If there was any moment in time where I was doing something to get something back from somebody, that wasn't genuine. If I was trying to impress somebody, then it wasn't genuine.